What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MyMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And today we're doing a Movies with Pride because it's June. And this is Burlesque. So show me how you burlesque. I'm blind, so if you could also explain how you do it, that would be great. Uh, so this movie does have audio description. I picked this one up off of Netflix, but I know it's been bouncing around with audio description for a while. It's not my favorite track, but it would get you from point A to point B. We'll talk about it. Anyway, click like and subscribe, and we'll get into Burlesque, which just inherently feels like a gay movie without actually being one. Like, completely, it just feels somehow like this is our celebration without actually. I mean, I think Stanley Tucci is the only one in the film who actually identifies. Well, and obviously the guy he sleeps with, but uh I don't think, is he a character? I don't think so. Um so I've seen this movie a couple times. I like the song Show Me How You Burlesque. Uh, I I I don't know. I mean, I don't give a lot of thought to should it have won the Oscar, but it is an earworm that like gets stuck in my head all the time. Even if I haven't listened to this song, I just kind of remember the catchy beat to it. The show me how you burlesque, show me how you, like, it'll just play in my head, and I'll be like, oh, my brain found the song again. It's just in there. I also remember the part where like there's no music and Christina Aguilera just goes on stage and has like some sort of like a spiritual awakening or like a vocal uh I I I don't know what else to call it. It's just it's like, okay. Everybody's like, whoa, what is that? I don't know. Is she possessed? Is she when you take it out of context, it's so weird. So when she just stands there and does it, and it's like, I mean, she's a great singer, but that scene is, it just never really works for me because she's just standing there doing these like long growly runs, and people are like, oh my god, I've never heard runs like that before, with so much growl in them. We must stay. We have to stay. Um, so I think it's funny also that Christina Aguilera's character is Allie, and this was years before Lady Gaga's character would also be called Allie in Stars Born. So there's a trend of pop stars looking for something more in their lives while playing characters who don't really have much in their lives, and both being called Allie. A little bit of a trend there. In the 2010s. So we came out in 2010. So celebrating 15 years of being burlesque. And Cher has not done much since then in terms of acting. So she appeared in Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, which came out after this. But that was kind of brief. This is definitely, I think, her last big role, like her last substantial role as an actress. And she plays Tess, who owns this burlesque joint. It's having a little bit of financial issue because it's a burlesque joint. And, she charges for entry and has dancers who come in and they lip sync. She's the only one who's allowed to sing, is Tess, when she goes on stage. So everybody else lip syncs, which includes her cohort of probably the most notable standout is Kristen Bell, who plays Kitty, who's sort of like the villain of the movie from the females, like out of the female cast. She's the bitchy one that is trying to ruin everything, We've also got Diana Agron, who definitely was having a moment in 2010 as also a cast member of Glee. Julianne Hough, who was looking to break into acting coming out of Dancing with the Stars. I don't really know the rest of the dancers, except for I do know Paula Van Oppen because I was a So You Think You Can Dance fan, and I remember her standing there and they offered her a spot in the top 10 and she turned it down for Burlesque. And her career has just, she's been unstoppable ever since then. Multiple Academy Award nominee, Tonys and Emmys, and she's turned down for a role in Burlesque that nobody remembers that she was in, and she's done virtually nothing since then except just backup dancer. She did not follow the Ariana DeBose pathway to stardom out of So You Think You Can Dance. But she got to do Burlesque, so I don't know, maybe she's happy with it. It just doesn't, it kind of, I don't know what would have happened from her having further exposure, say, getting into the top 10. Several of those people have gone on to do Broadway. They've been Dancing with the Stars pros. They have managed to have her career on IMDb stops in 2018, 7 years ago. So I don't know where she is or what she's up to. We have a lot of guys because of course we do, and they all need to be cute to look at, I'm sure. So we've got Eric Dane, who, thoughts and prayers with him through his recent diagnosis as he navigates his, he was recently diagnosed with ALS. So his career includes a lot of roles that just required him to just kind of be hot and somewhat have somewhat of a personality, but really just charming, either in a somewhat evil way, like leaning the bad guy route or leaning the good guy route. He's just kind of a wink and a smile. Even in X-Men The Last Stand, when he plays Multiple Man, he still is just kind of like that, wink and a smile type of guy, like, oh, hey, is it me? Oh, looking for me. Anyway. And Stanley Tucci, I already mentioned him. He plays Tess's sort of assistant, best friend. Basically the same thing he just did for Meryl Streep in The Devil Wears Prada is what he's doing here. He also shepherds Christina Aguilera around, much like he did Anne Hathaway's character in Devil Wears Prada. It's the same role. They just rolled him over into a new movie. So, this is maybe like a sequel for his character. It's not. His character is obviously completely different, but it feels like the same. It's the same thing. And we've got who else is in? Oh, James Brolin pops up in the cast. Peter Gallagher plays Vince, who is the sort of like still partnership / half owner of the Burlesque Club, but is also Tessa's ex. So she's hoping to kind of get rid of him in this whole thing too. We've got Cam Gignet. I've never known how to pronounce his last name. It's not just the names that we think are going to trip us up. Sometimes it's the pretty little white boy bartender with a last name that I have no idea. Giganet? I don't know. I don't know how to, I don't know how to say Cam's name. And he's there again. For pretty much he followed the Eric Dane school of charm, where if he smiles a lot and is there to be pretty, his career will go far. So that's what he's hoping to do. There are some other people in the film. Alan Cumming is credited, although even while watching the movie, I didn't catch where Alan Cumming actually was in the movie. I kind of felt bad. I was like, did I miss Alan Cumming? that seems like an impossibility. Glenn Turman's in this. Um, yeah, so it's Allie, and she leaves this volatile situation and heads off to parts unknown and ends up at this burlesque club, and she has no idea what burlesque is. She's from Iowa, and she ends up and in Los Angeles, because that's where everybody goes. So, and there's this burlesque club, and she's like, "Oh, what is this? What is this wickedry and witchcraft? I'll have to be a part of this." So she leans in on Jack, who takes a liking to her and probably is just really doing his job, just being nice. Um, and she tries to get a job with Tess. That doesn't work out. So she just kind of just starts waiting tables just for free so that she can and then Allie just keeps kind of working through road bumps in her life on her way to stardom, her eventual obviously getting to do burlesque, and she patiently sort of waits and watches the routines and memorizes the dance moves. Eventually they need an audition. They have to audition for a new burlesque member because one of the girls is pregnant, and so they're going to need to be replacing her. And this gives Allie the opportunity to go on stage and to show her stuff. But Kitty does not like. Kitty does not like this. Her claws come out, and she's ready to scratch. So even as Allie gets brought in, ultimately after begging for her life, just as not the star of the show, but as like a backup dancer or like rotation or I don't know, whatever it is. So she gets brought in, and this constant sort of back and forth between Tess and Kitty boils over at one point to where Tess sends Kitty home because she's drunk, and Kitty on the way out messes up the situation to where there's no music because everybody lip syncs. Nobody knows that she can sing at this point, that Allie can sing. And so in this great moment of awakening, the music has stopped. She got the DJ to leave and run over to help Tess or whatever, and there's no music. It's gone. Allie's just on stage mid-routine, and she stops, and everybody just goes, "Well, fuck, the show's over. I guess we gotta leave." So they start leaving, and then she's panicking. What does she do? And then people are like, "Oh my God, what was that? I don't know. But whatever it is, it's going to change the course of this movie." So she sings the rest of the song a cappella. I think there's probably a band because eventually like music comes back, but it's not a track. So I'm like, so what does the band do? So the people playing instruments, since they use tracks so that the girls can sing, is the band employed? Because this is why she's in financial trouble, is she's employing a band that she only uses for when Tess goes on stage. If that's true. I don't know, music comes in and we get another song. So a couple of musical numbers. Some of them are songs that are repurposed, you've heard before, not originals that are written for the movie. I think Cher's solo was written for the movie, and Show Me How You Burlesque was written for the movie. Most of these are just like Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. They're just songs you've heard before, done differently for the movie, given a different beat. Also, things are heating up between Allie and Jack. Allie's decided that she's gonna stay with Jack, and they're just friends. This is why there's also gay movies, because Allie assumes Jack is gay for like the first 25% of the movie. So at first she's trying to live on her own in this wretched hotel, and then it gets robbed and her shit gets stolen, and she ends up needing a place to crash. So she crashes with Jack, and like while she's crashing with Jack, she just casually is like in like, I don't know, an oversized t-shirt, no, sort of semi-exposed, and it comes out that he's not gay, and she thought he was, and she's like, oh God, I can't be here then. You have a girlfriend and you're not gay, and all of these things I'm learning about you. And so because he wears eyeliner, that was the dead giveaway for her, basically, is that he was nice and he wears eyeliner. So he's like, it's a look, man. It's she's still learning what burlesque is at this point. So yeah, it's a thing that's kind of this will they or won't they for the rest of the movie. With him, he's a songwriter. I love when people like, from the music side, I love when somebody plays something like really simple on the piano and people are like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Did you write that? And I'm like, it's just an arpeggiated chord. Mostly. It's really what it is. There's a little bit of notes on top of it, but mostly he's just arpeggiating a hand while playing like a simple rhythm on top of it. He's not Bach or Beethoven all of a sudden. Like, this is not something revolutionary. He doesn't have like a complete song. He just sort of has like a little thing together. It's about, I don't know, 15 seconds of music. And she's like, oh, wow. Music. Piano. Man at piano. Playing. Original? Brilliant. Genius. Must be. So, yeah, so his songwriting slowly gets worked into the movie also. Eric Dane is trying to buy the Burlesque Club because it's in danger. He wants to, sadly, he doesn't even want to keep the joint open. I mean, you would think he's one of those like creepy dudes that just wants to control the women and be like, I'd like to own this so that I can own all the women. What was that? That was in like summer of '69 that they just did that, where the guy wanted to own the strip clubs, and then, was like leering at all of the women like, yeah, I'm gonna own this place. Now he wants to develop it. He wants the property. Which ends up into sort of like an interesting ending, and how they block that idea. They use his proposal that's on the table to, lobby against somebody else and their idea, and eventually make enough money to save the place and also buy out Peter Gallagher's character, so Cher can get rid of him as well and be full owner of her own place. And Allie can get on stage and sing and save the world, which is what happens, and fall in love with Jack. And Stanley Tucci can be exactly what he was in Devil Wears Prada, the gay best friend slash wise words of wisdom, encouragement person, individual, some often overlooked best friend. Although here he arguably does have a little bit more of his own life than he does in Devil Wears Prada, where he basically has given his entire life to Meryl Streep. Here with Cher and Tessie's, he does end up, we do see him with someone, even it's a hookup, but at least he has time for one. We don't get to see that in Devil Wears Prada. So, which they're making a sequel to now. Will we get to see more of Tucci's character? Will he have a life now? Or I don't know. We'll see in the sequel to The Devil Wears Prada or The Devil Still Wears Prada or whatever. I don't know what we're calling it, but Burlesque I've included in Pride Month. It just feels it just feels right. I don't it's loosely connected, but I don't know, in real life, I know so many LGBTQ burlesque performers in and around in my area that it's just like, I think this is a thing that we like to do as a culture, as a community. I mean, they put Cher as the star here. I feel like they're wink, wink, nudge, nudging and trying to bait us and be like, this is for you. You know it's for you. Come on in. We've included Stanley Tucci again. You liked him in Devil Wears Prada when he was gay, so we've made him gay again in Burlesque for your viewing pleasure. Um, it's corny, it's cheesy, it's campy, it's fun. It's silly, it's whatever it is. It puts a smile on my face while I'm also like, this is not a good movie, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And that's how I felt about Burlesque sort of every time I watch it is I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know about this film, but it just stuck with me. It just stayed, and I couldn't get it out of my head. And I've seen this movie like, I don't know, it was probably like my fifth time seeing it. And yeah, it just, I don't know, it has this own unique charm to it. I don't think it's quite a desert island movie for me, but I also can't just be, I can't like tank the grade either because every time I put it on, I enjoy it. And so there's got to be something for that. You know, it's hard for me to say bad when it puts a smile on my face and I have a great, 2 hours of watching Burlesque. The audio description though, I mean it's functional. It gets you from point A to point B. The mix is fine. The narrator's voice is just a British dude. Netflix is running the UK audio description track, so it's maybe not the choice I would have made, but also it's the UK audio description track. So um, I don't, there are, I don't know what the American audio description track for this would have sounded like, but I not my favorite choice. I'm happy to have the accessibility. But it's also something that has a really hard time translating what burlesque is as an art form, as a style, the dressing and the clothes. Every once in a while, it'll try to mention what somebody's wearing, but not consistently. And there are all these different outfits that they jump in and out of. From what I remember, having seen this movie actually probably a couple times before losing my vision, um, there's a look and a vibe here, like there is with all burlesque performers, that I feel like isn't fully grabbed and held on to by the audio description. It kind of mentions it a little bit, there's nothing that makes it stand out that says, well, this is what makes burlesque different. This is what burlesque is. This is why people love burlesque as an art form. This is why there's a movie called Burlesque. None of that. It just feels like a costume change or a scene or somebody's wearing some lingerie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never given the sort of um sexiness that it needs. It's never that. It's always functional. So I think the best way to support burlesque is to actually support the art form, is to have somebody. I wonder if there are people, I'm sure there are people who do like live uh, for live theater, for performances of burlesque, and who do audio description for that at some point. They should have been the ones to jump in here because I'm sure that they're used to trying to translate what burlesque looks like, and somebody like that should have consulted on in some form, either narrated or co-written, to try to bring that out, because it just doesn't really exist here. But If you're just trying to follow the plot and know who the characters are, it's very functional audio description. So I'm not gonna say it's not, and it's not poorly mixed like some tracks are, where it feels like it's battling the sound of the movie either. I could hear it the whole time. Anyway, that's it. Time to grade Burlesque. I don't know what to do with this movie because I've seen it too many times to be like, bad movie, bad, bad. It's also not a great one. And it's also not quite my favorite for me to be able to take it to a desert island. I don't know, B? Probably think of Burlesque a B. So it's entertaining enough that I've watched it like 5 times, but it is also a musical, and I'm inherently drawn to them. So I like it. Like I said, I love the show me how you're burlesque thing, which they smartly put at the end of the movie. So if you actually want to watch the sequence, you have to watch the whole damn movie, or I guess fast forward to it. But um, so yeah, check out Burlesque. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.